Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or if you've been here before, welcome back. My name's Amy, and today we're making our third Outlander recipe inspired by book 4 in the series, The Drums of Autumn, chapter 22. This one takes us to England, and we're making Oxford baked beans. Now, I know that beans on toast is very popular in England, and I tried it a while back with the canned Heinz beans, which is what I've always read were the best. Sadly though, I thought they tasted sort of like SpaghettiOs but with beans. Essentially watery tomato sauce and salt with a dash of sugar. It was really boring. And that just wasn't like other popular English dishes I've had, because most British food is delicious. So I was really excited when I saw a beans recipe in my Outlander cookbook, because I really want real English baked beans. And since I just can't do anything by halves, we're gonna eat our beans with a full English breakfast. So let's get cooking. So yeah, these beans do take 2 days to make, but day 1 is about as easy as cooking gets. Measure out 1 pound of white beans into a large bowl. I'm using navy beans, but you could also use cannellini or Great Northern beans for this. Cover the beans with several inches of cool water, pop a lid on them, and let them soak overnight or for at least 8 hours. And that's day 1. Okay, day 2, and you can see that the beans have plumped up quite a bit. Drain all that soaking water, pour the beans into a large pot, and then cover them again with more water by a few inches. Bring this to a boil and skim off any foam that develops as the beans heat up. And be careful, because these will try to boil over, so you may need to yank them off the heat for a second just to stop the eruption of bean lava. Turn the heat down to low and simmer these beans for 45 minutes to an hour, or until they're nice and soft but not mushy. Now you can add more water if you need to. Just make sure to keep the beans completely covered with water so they don't get dry. You basically want a good baked bean texture, so no crunch but no mush. When you're happy with the texture of the beans, drain the water and pop the beans right back into the pot. Okay, while those beans are boiling, we need to do a very small amount of prep. We're gonna need either 1 large carrot or 2 smaller ones like these. Peel the carrot, wash them off really well, and then either chop them up very small or grate them like this. We need the carrot pieces to be nice and small so they cook through and they get soft pretty quickly. We also need to either mince or crush 2 cloves of garlic. Now you could use pre-minced garlic for this, but fresh garlic does have a somewhat different flavor profile than bottled garlic. But this will taste amazing either way, so whichever you prefer is gonna be perfect. About 25 to 30 minutes before the beans are done, we're gonna start cooking our sauce. To start, add 3 tablespoons of olive oil to a medium saucepan and heat the oil over medium heat. When the oil's shimmery, add the carrot and stir continuously until the carrots are soft. We don't want any color or browning on the carrot, we just want it to be soft and cooked through, which is why we wanted those pieces to be really small. When the carrot pieces are soft, which was about 4 minutes for me, add the garlic and stir for another 20 to 30 seconds until the garlic is fragrant. Then pour in 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, a half teaspoon of smoked paprika, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a 1/4 cup of packed dark brown sugar, and 1 cup of water. Stir all this up until everything is well combined and the sugar is fully melted into the liquid. Bring this to a boil and then turn the heat down to low and simmer it for 20 minutes. Stir this pretty often to keep the sauce from sticking while it reduces. When the sauce has simmered for the 20 minutes, turn off the heat and use an immersion blender to puree it until it's smooth and has an almost creamy texture. If you don't have a stick blender, you could also use a regular blender or food processor, but you may need to let the sauce cool for a few minutes before pouring it. When the sauce is smooth, pour it into the big pot with the beans and give everything just a quick stir. Add 2 tablespoons of butter, salt the beans to taste, and then stir everything up again to make sure all the beans are coated in that delicious smelling sauce. Simmer everything again for another 10 to 20 minutes so the flavors combine. If you notice the beans seem a little thick and you're running out of liquid, add a little water to thin the sauce. I didn't need to add any water, but if your sauce reduces more than mine did before you combined everything, you may need to add about a 1/4 cup. And these beans are done. Now, I could just toast a piece of bread and plop some of these on top of the slice of cheese, but where's the fun in that? And if I'm making beans on toast, I'm just gonna make a full English breakfast. I may not have the exact ingredients to be completely traditional, like black pudding and British back bacon, but I can come up with something pretty close, and it'll definitely be delicious. So let's have a fry up. I started with some regular old streaky bacon, because that's what I have, and cooked it until it was nice and crispy. Then I cooked up some sausage in the bacon grease, and these are brats, but since brats are pork sausages, they'll work just fine. Now for the veggies, because it isn't a full English breakfast without mushrooms and tomatoes. I cooked up some mushrooms in the bacon and sausage grease, as well as a Roma tomato that I cut into thick, chunky slices, and I made sure to season both with some salt and pepper. And last in the pan, some fried eggs, because breakfast just wouldn't be breakfast without some fried eggs. Last, a nice slice of toast, and here we have it. Look at that full English breakfast in all of its glory. Or, at least as close as I can get in the Southwest US without black pudding. I mean, if I'm making real English baked beans, I want to eat them the way they're supposed to be eaten, with a full plate of fried everything. I want the full experience, and I even have tea. I know, I have a tea collecting problem, but it's okay, because tea is amazing. So yeah, back to these beans, which are the star of this show. These beans are lovely. There's a nice tomato sauce tanginess to them, and a hint of smoke from the paprika, and they're not drowning in sauce either, which I just love. They're delicately sweet. These just feel classy. Like, I don't know, like how many British things feel classy to someone in the US, I guess. These beans make me think of bells and bicycles and mountains of books. Like nostalgia for a place I haven't actually been to, but I can imagine it so vividly that it almost feels like I'm there. I don't know, maybe I'm reading way too much into it, but suffice to say, these beans are really good. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment below. Come and hang out with me on Sundays too, because I have a comforting and cozy home-cooked recipe to share every week. And each Wednesday, we'll make another recipe inspired by a popular movie, TV show, video game, book series, anything. Also, I'm now on Instagram, so you're welcome to follow me over there if you like. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday for the final Outlander-inspired recipe before we move on to our next inspiration. It's Game of Thrones. Okay, bye.